in the beginning, what it really was about was just, I don't know, making contact. Just seeing the acknowledgement that he knew that I existed. It was so odd that I was craving that attention. But
do you think that that's what you were, like, you were craving that from the beginning, though?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of mixed stuff going on, but a lot of it became that along the way. But it was also because, I'd been so moved.
Right.
You're attracted to that light. So you move towards it. And that's what I was doing. So,
and that's really what he is. He's like a big ball of light.
Yeah, it's weird. So, yeah, but he attracts a lot of loons, too.
Yeah, but a lot of people do. I mean, he's just, what it is? He
included.
just has a lot of, like, positive energy, and it kind of just spews out everywhere.
Yeah.
So you're bound to hit somebody that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about, if you heard the Chris Downey show, we were talking about it, how it's like, there's Kev 2.0 is much nicer and empathetic and much more
could be
of a booster. And yeah, a lot of it's probably the weed.
I was going to say, could it be the little green that he's
part of it's the weed, and I think also part of it is we could argue over what failure is or what having a midlife crisis is, but sort of having the bottom drop out of your world. And then having to sort of look, doing a lot of self-reflection, I think changed him, and that coupled with the
I
weed.
think his dad dying changed him.
Yeah. So all that sort of...
I think he's lost having a bottom. Like for him, there were certain things which meant hitting bottom. And for him now, as long as he's doing it, enjoying it, and doing what he loves, there isn't a bottom anymore.
Correct.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so weird because I could draw a lot of parallels in my life to Kevin in that I worked for a convenience store. We were both born in 1970, both spent a lot of time growing up in New Jersey.
Right.
I remember back in 1994, around that time, Joey, the guy who would eventually become my sidekick podcast guy.
PCJ.
Yeah, was the film nerd. At the time, he was the guy reading all those zines that Kevin talked about all the time. He was reading those same stuff. He was a contemporary, essentially, of Kevin and of Vinny Pereira. He was the film geek, the snob, the nerd, the cineast. He was going, he was the guy going to Angelica Film Festival. He was the first one of us to go. So he was the one who said there's a guy down in South Jersey who's doing this movie, and we gotta see it. It's coming out. It looks like it's gonna get picked. It's at Sundance. So he put it on the radar.
And Joey's always sound like that ever since I met him.
I've
known him.
He always sounds baked, but he's not.
Well, I think he might have been back then.
Yeah,
but when we first, it's like I've known him 20-something years, the same as you, and he's always sounded the same.
Yes. Yes. So the irony is he put Kevin on the map. So we from Clerks we were in, so he's been a part of my life. I was always a fan. I bought all those videos, the Kevin Smith, An Evening With.
Oh my God, we have everything.
I would listen to commentary. I loved his DVDs because they were so packed with shit. So, I was a big fan. For whatever reason, though, and it's funny because I reached out to the guy on Facebook the other day who told me about Smodcast. He was the first guy to tell me about it. I remember it. It was clear as day. He came into my office.
Oh, at work.
Yeah, and we were talking about Kevin, and we were talking about how he was doing Jersey Girl, and I remember at the time saying, "Oh yeah, that seems like such a good fit. It makes sense." And that he was leaving the View Askew universe, and also they had started podcasting, and he was listening to it. It was kind of funny, and I remember being so dismissive at the time, being like, "Podcasting? Why the fuck's he doing that?" Yeah, it's kind of like the irony.
The irony is so ironic.
I actually reached out to him on Facebook 2 days ago. Or 3, we became friends again. I asked him if he'd come on the show, and he did what most people do when you do that, who don't think they have anything to say.
What?
I'll be boring.
Yeah, but you know what? People are not boring.
Yeah, they're not as boring as they think.
No, they're not. We all have a
I will
story.
crack that nut.
Yes, and you're not a nut, sir.
Yes. Well, you know what I mean. Not that. So.